Let me change here. So, close reading. What do you know about it? I'm going to ask you a little bit more about this later, and then I go to the chat. But basically, close reading is about digging deep into a text to really understand its meaning. It's not about simply reading it superficially and then going to some comprehension questions, answer to them, and then, just have, understand if they understood the text. But it's actually about taking every single juice we have in that text and using it to think critically about that text. Okay? So, not only about skimming through words, it's about carefully examining each word and sentence and to grasp the full picture of that text, to work as a detective. I love that picture. It's like a close reader works like a detective. Why is it so crucial? Well, it's because close reading helps our students to become better readers, better thinkers. By focusing on the text itself, they learn to uncover the main ideas, the details, the little nuances we have in this text. They also learn to think about the meaning. They learn to uncover main ideas. They learn how each individual word or sentence and how the ideas are connected and what the text as a whole is trying to say. So, do you all have your phones with you? I hope you do. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and go to the chat. But before, I would like you all to open your phones, or you can access livecloud.online and use the code TCD5. And I would like you to write me 5 skills you think we could be practicing, 5 reading skills, of course, 5 reading skills that you think we could be practicing while working with close reading. Or better yet, 5 reading skills that we could be practicing while having our reading instruction. Okay? I don't know if you all have the information here. Let me stop sharing and going to the chat. Let me see where you are here. Okay. So did you all have, could you get that? Okay, someone is writing. I'm going to wait and see if you got the link. I can share again. Oh, if I stop sharing, you cannot see my screen. Is that it? Let me share again then. I don't know if you can see the screen now. Let me go back there. Okay, good. Thank you. So I'll go back. I'll just make it bigger. Can you, let me go back to this one. Can you still see it? Okay, I'll just go back. Yes, great. So let's see if we start getting some words here. Which reading skills can we practice while we are doing our reading instruction? Can you tell me what you have in mind? I don't know why this keeps going. Not sure if you... Okay, okay, let's go back to the chat then. I have here skimming, scanning. I think the link's not working. Oh, okay, sorry. So let's just write this on the chat if you want. So I have here skimming, scanning. What else? Inference. There we go. What else? Previewing. Awesome. Inference. This one would be showing in a bigger font right now in our word cloud. Predicting. Good. Anyone else? Basically, skimming, scanning, inference, predicting. There we go. So let me just go back to the presentation. Don't we have to be like from the circus to get all the things together? Okay, so let me check how I can make this bigger. No, I have no idea. I did it before. That you could only see this. Let me see if I can open this. No. Okay. Can you still see this? I don't know how to close this. How did I do? Okay, 1 second. I think I should go here and then do the whole screen. Share. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this is better. Okay, so forgive me for because of the link. I have no idea why this is not working. But let's go back to what I asked. So we were trying to find some ways, some skills that we could be practicing while during our reading instruction, right? We got skimming and scanning there. These are methods, right? To get to the skills we want. So it is a way to find inference, for example, or to find sequencing, for example, to find making connections, to find a sequence, making predictions. And these ones were there, right? Making predictions, sequence of events, sequencing. I think we also had inferences, inferencing. But look how many more, Do we usually work on point of view? Do we usually work with author's craft? Do we usually work with identifying key ideas and details? We do. Every now and then we find this in our text and we just ask them, for example, to retell a story, right? We work with some of the vocabulary which is there, but do we actually work with the author's language choices? Why did they use this word and not that word, So this is what close reading helps us do. By using very short texts, we don't use a lot of time in reading, and we can offer much more options and much more opportunities for students to actually work. Even punctuation. Do you understand, or can you think of how punctuation is important? Well, we always see these memes that come, punctuation, you just change one comma and the sentence is, a whole lot of different things. So using those techniques in a method. So it's not like just Well, when retelling is important, then I use retelling. Or when the plot is very important, then I'm going to talk about the plot. When the illustrations help me identify some vocabulary, then I use illustrations. But no, if you use this consistently and you teach them how to look for or how to use those techniques, how to use those skills, to find the real deal with that text, we are teaching them how to avoid fake news, for example, right? We are teaching them while they're reading an article, what is important and what they should be paying more attention to. So let's continue here. There is an article I highly recommend. Let me click. I think I have the bar right over the link here. So let me just try. This article by Nancy Boyles. In this article called Closing In on Close Reading, tongue twister here, the author emphasizes how important it is for us as teachers to help our students become independent readers. They will not always be reading with us, and then we are going to have those comprehension questions and they will be answering to it. They will be doing that independently during university, during, well, even their fun time, right? By directing their attention to the text itself, close reading empowers them to grasp the central ideas, and key supporting details which are in that text, and it helps us understand if that text has any agenda behind it, or even if we can discover some new ideas in there. They learn to reflect on the meaning. They learn to identify those individual words and sentences that are so important, the sequence in which the ideas unfold, and this is so important, and the overall development of concept throughout the text. So they can see the text as a whole and not like in sentences or in answers I have for my questionnaire. So let me close this here because I want to show you something else. I'll give you a little bit, well, we can read this together. And I think, well, this is very dense, but I think it's very important. If we are not used to working with close reading, this will give us why it is so important to use this technique in order to prepare them for critical thinking, for of course, but also for exams. So close analytic reading stresses engaging with a text of sufficient complexity directly and examining meaning thoroughly and methodically. So many S's, right? So I think it's very important here in this sentence, it's very important to say sufficient complexity. We are not looking for very difficult, challenging texts. We are not teaching fluency here, and we are not trying to teach a lot of vocabulary. Some vocabulary, yes, they may be new to them, but this is not the purpose of close reading. We are teaching them how to think about the text. It's like having a conversation with the author, right? You have the text, it's not very difficult. I learned some vocabulary. The text is not very long as well. Actually, the opposite. It's a short text, and you can use it to focus on the strategies, to focus on the methods, the skimming, the scanning, and so many others, looking for a specific word and all those strategies, right? Directing student attention on the text itself empowers the students to understand the central ideas and key supporting details. It also enables students to reflect on the meanings of individual words and sentences, the order in which sentences unfold, and the development of ideas over the course of the text, which ultimately leads students to arrive at an understanding of the text as a whole, right? So I don't know if it's getting clear. Let me go, I'm just going to go back just for a second to the chat and see if you have any question. And then we are going to go and see how we work as a detective. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Okay, not sure what is the choo-choo, but yeah, there we go. So let me go back here and share my screen. If you have any questions, just pop them to the chat. We can go through them and then share, and let's go back here. Okay, I'm getting better on this, right? Good. Okay, so why close reading? It's not about reading more, although yes, they are going to be reading that same text for 3 or 4 times. Do we always say, okay, kids, now let's read the text again? Of course not. It's all about, it's a very inquiry-based method, approach. So they're going to read 1 time. We're going to ask them to read the text once. And then we are just going to keep asking questions. So they have to go back to the text in order to answer. And by doing that, they are rereading the text. What happens to us when we do something once more? It could be